And welcome back, everybody. This is Ghost Stories Told from the South. I am your co-host, Lexie LeBooth.
And I am your host, Stephen LeBooth. We get some more spooky stories for you. Num num nums. You know, and I keep forgetting it's Christmas time. So the rest of my stories I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get some scary Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And I think for the Christmas special, we should do the
Krampus.
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. And this is a good old episode 32.
Get yeah.
I forgot how to word that. This is good old episode 32 of Ghost Stories Told from the South. It is the second week of December. I hope wherever you are, you're getting really good, nice, cold weather. We probably won't be when this is out.
No, not in Texas.
We get maybe 60-degree weather, and it's somehow still
every
hot.
now and then, like once every 10 years, we'll have these big old blizzards, and then they shut the town down for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it only
sometimes
lasts
a week.
But it lasts. Yeah, it doesn't really last that long.
Yeah,
but
sometimes I'm just exaggerating. It's a very rare when it lasts a week. If it's a weak one, then it's a big blizzard.
Yeah, but normally it only lasts like a
day.
day.
Yeah, normally it'd come in and shut us down for maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and everybody panics, too, when they first hear that there's bad weather down here in Texas. It's like, go get all the bread and the milk and the water right now.
Save the babies.
Yeah, so.
It's bad, but it turns out there's like ice on the road. That's it.
Oh, yeah, they'll shut everything down. They're like, there's ice. Look, there's ice right there.
There's a piece of ice. You ain't going nowhere today. It's like a lockdown. All right. So, as you know, we'll do more announcements at the very end of this episode, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, how many stories do you have for this one?
I've got like 1, 2, 3. I got like 5, 6.
Dang. Okay.
I think, but they're kind of shorties.
It's fine. I'm gonna start, and then I'm gonna let Dad go. So.
I got about 5, but they're kind of shorties.
It's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go first. This is the Zombie Road in Wildwood, Missouri. Okay, so this is one of Missouri's most haunted places. And there's like 3 different names for this place. So it's known as Zombie Road. It's also known as Lawyer Ford Road. It's also known as Al Foster Trail. And also known as Rock Hollow Trail. So it has a lot of names, and I really don't know why. But it's mainly known as Zombie Road.
Zombie Road.
It's about 2 to 3 miles long, and it's like a little valley of like this forest. Oakland,
yeah, this is that one I was talking about. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Look at that. You see the kids in the background. Oh, that's some creepy shit, man.
Yeah, it is really creepy.
I'm sorry, guys. I'd lose my sight. Oh, God.
I don't know what I would do in that moment.
Oh, man. It's so creepy. Because you just see their shadows.
Yeah. So they're closed to access at night. So basically, they open about an hour before sunrise and close an hour after sunset. And it actually is the site of the largest Native American burial mount in the country. So it's
a lot of spooky stuff goes on
Native
there,
Americans.
I bet you.
And it has been referred to the Zombie Road since the 1950s. People say that they see like American Indians, Native Americans, Confederate rebels or soldiers, packs of ghost children, walking men killed in the industrial accidents that I guess that happened, shadow figures, and non-human entities have been reported. Yeah. So during the Civil War, this was the main road that was from western St. Louis County to Jefferson County. And then in the 1950s, it became a popular hangout area for young people. Young lovers would sneak out here at night, but they would disappear without a trace, and they'd never be seen again. A man got killed in the 1970s by a train on this stretch of road, and a boy fell from a bluff into the river, and he drowned. And people say they feel Native Americans' presence here. So I'm guessing that the entire it's just haunted by Native Americans because of the land history and everything. So.
How do they know it's Native Americans?
Oh, there's the burial ground mount thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
But
And two, I was being a little smart aleck.
that's really about it. Mine's a little shorty too, but I have like one or two long ones, so it's fine. All right, Danny, you go ahead.
All right, we're going to do 2 more stories on Deadwood on the city, and then we're done with that.
A continuation of last week's episode.
Yeah, I didn't know there were so many stories on Deadwood, and they just didn't want to make one episode just on, Deadwood. So here we go. I'm going to start out with the Fairmont Hotel. It's a pretty little place. Okay, in August 28th, 1907, Magic Boardwater on the Magic Boardwater was one of the upstairs girls, I guess, which means a prostitute.
Yeah.
And she jumped from her death from the third story window, and no one's never knew why. There was never a note or anything.
I was about to ask why.
But a lot of times back then, though, you got to remember, girls, when they got pregnant, it was a real bad sin, and you were looked down worse on being a single mom than being a prostitute.
Yeah.
So if you got knocked up or something, then people, and I don't think abortions were real big back then. I don't think a lot of people knew. I don't know if they was invented yet back then. So to fix the problem, they'd either just 9 times out of 10 just killed herself.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But she jumped to her death. Then in 1907, Vinegar Ravoni went into a jealous rage and shot his girlfriend and her client. And then while he was putting the gun back in his pants, he accidentally shot himself and wounded himself pretty bad. But while he was running, trying to get away from the scene, he collapsed and died. Once again, guys, and I'm not trying to be mean, you can't help who you fall in love with sometimes. But if you're going to fall in love with somebody who is a prostitute, I mean, come on, man. You can't get mad at their profession. You knew what they was doing when you met them, and then you're like, I don't like what you're doing.
That's my job.
Well, you knew that when we got together.
Yeah, I don't understand
I don't
that part.
get that. Anyways, yeah, he collapsed and died. There are people that have stayed in the room and that have woke up. Here's another one that woke up to a woman at the foot of the bed, and they think it's that woman that got killed by her husband.
What is it with all these ghosts coming getting into the bed and just like watching us sleep?
I know that's kind of creepy. I don't know what'd be creepier, if they messed with me and I seen them there, or if they didn't say nothing and I woke up to them watching me. Because I've had my daughter do that. Stephanie, she was bad about that. You'd wake up and she'd be bam right there in your face.
Like you turn over and she's just like, hi.
You're like, ah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Okay, they woke up to seeing her at the foot of their bed. And some people feel something rush by them while they're going up the stairs, like something in a, like what it feels when someone rushes by you.
Yeah, you get the cold burst and everything.
Well, then I didn't know this either. I didn't even know they did stuff like this, but this sounds like it'd be fun to go to. In 2018, the hotel was in the world's largest, was in the Guinness Book of World Records for the world's largest ghost hunt.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wonder what the world's largest ghost hunt, like how many people or groups or whatever.
I don't know, but that would be awesome to go to.
And be a part of that.
Yeah.
And see how long you can last.
Well, then the other place I've got to talk about is the old cemetery in town. And in that cemetery, it's been the cemetery ever since the birth of the town. The cemetery has a mass grave from a lot of the fires that happened there. That's where they'd bury the mass graves, because no one could identify them back then like they can really a body now if you try.
Yeah.
Like from dental records or stuff like that. They didn't have that kind of technology back then. So when there was a bad fire, if your face really wasn't recognizable, you just kind of got tossed in this big old... Oh, well, like I said, the town had 2 or 3 big fires that almost wiped the town out, but it still survived. Well, there's that. And then there's... there's some famous people buried here too. Calamity Jane, James Butler Hickok, Wild Bill Hickok was buried here, and then the sheriff Bullock, the one who built the Bullock Hotel, he's buried here too. A lot of well-known people buried there, and then people say when they're visiting, they can hear things, and then you can feel a presence walking or just with you the whole time, and then of course you hear things and feel things, you know. But you got to figure, man, that whole town has probably got so much.
So much juju.
Yeah, so much juju in it because it's it was basically one of the last Wild West towns, but you know, back in the day. I mean, that was in the late 1800s when that town was booming real big. It was before the turn of the century, so it was like the last booming town, and with the gold rush there, that's what really brought everybody there.
Yeah.
You know, and all the souls that came there that lost their lives trying to make it rich off the gold rush and shit.
Yeah, they're still there. All right. Well, it's my turn now, folks. So I am going to do the Bellamy Bridge.
Say that 3 times fast.
Bellamy, I think, Bridge. This is in Jackson County, Florida. So basically, this is a bridge. It's a steel frame bridge. In 1851, a wooden bridge was constructed, but like nature had ruined that bridge over time, and another one was placed in 1872. And then 2 years later, a huge flood happened because the bridge was over a river, like a short river or a creek, and the creek got flooded during a huge flood, and it swept the bridge away. So then, in 1874, a third bridge was put into place. Well, at one point, they came up with the idea to use steel.
Oh yeah, steel's
frame.
better.
And they were one of like the first bridges, and it still stands with the original steel in it.
See, 'cause steel's better, man.
So that's really cool. But because it has a steel frame, but the planks are all gone out of it.
Yeah.
That part was wood. But it still pretty much stands. The frame does. So some of the stuff about, like the legend about this place, the legend and the story, the true story, is mostly similar. There's just some like stuff that's a little bit different. So listen to like the characters and stuff like that. Okay, so this girl, her name is Elizabeth. She's an 18-year-old girl. Legend is that she married her true love, Dr. Samuel Bellamy, and they got married in the Rose Gardens on the grounds of the grounds of the garden that he had built for her in the mansion. So it was, yeah, he had built this mansion for her. Well, now I guess the mansion's not there because now it's the bridge. So it went from being a mansion
moved the
to
mansion to make the bridge.
Yeah. Well, after the ceremony, she went to her room, and I guess she was going to change or something, and she knocked over a candelabra, and it caught her dress on fire. And so therefore she caught on fire, and she ran downstairs to like get help, and everyone tried to help like save her, but she died 2 days later.
Wow.
Yeah. So her last words apparently were, "I will love you always. I will love you always and forever. I will never leave you." Those are towards her husband, and then apparently the husband committed suicide 15 years later.
Dang.
Well, see, that's the legend. Okay, so this is the truth to it. So Elizabeth died in Florida, not at the wedding. The wedding was in North Carolina, not Florida, so they had the wedding, and then she died a couple years later. So she got married at 15, and then she gave birth 2 days later to a son. And then she got malaria at 18, and she died in May of 1837. And then her husband slit his throat with a razor 15 years later.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I didn't know they did this, but like so he left the note saying that he wanted to be buried with his wife or his bride, but since he committed suicide, he was placed in an unmarked grave in Chattahoochee.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't know they did that.
Well, I guess back in the day, committing suicide. Well, that's what too. I mean, I've always, even still today, suicides looked as just
a huge like frowned
Yeah,
upon
huge frowned upon thing.
thing. Yeah. And so Elizabeth, she's been like there's been sightings of her that go far back as 1890, and she's also called Lady of Bellamy Bridge. And also there's like some back history and backstories about this man that murdered his wife and then committed suicide on this bridge. And then a moonshiner got murdered there apparently.
Oh my God.
So like I mean it has some mystery and a little bit of backbone to it. So there's some stuff about it, but yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Especially like I never find that much like ghost stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang.
You were loaded on that one, huh?
Yeah. Okay, what are you going to be doing next, Daddy-O?
I'm going to be talking about Tagus, South Dakota. Tagus, South Dakota was founded in 1900, 40 miles west of Minot, South Dakota, a railroad settlement town. It was Wallace, but they changed it not to be confused with a town in Idaho named the same thing. The town reached its peak in the 1940s. It went up to 140 people. By 1976, 14 people lived there, and the town was pretty much dead after that. There was no business in the town after that. It just kind of really dwindled. And legend says that the old Lutheran church that burnt down, in the 2000s, was where satanic worshiping took place and rituals.
Okay.
They call it like another little hell town. They call it the portal to hell.
Oh, wow.
And it's a little old town. I mean, look, it's just a little old. It was never a real big town. It was just one of them railroad towns, And when the railroad shut down, it kind of killed them because that was kind of like their business,
And then once they shut down, it was nothing.
Yeah. And then there have been reports of hellhounds, glowing tombstones, and screams of screams of the damned.
Okay.
Yeah, they
That's
say that
crazy.
Place is pretty cursed, and they don't know. Well, they kind of have a reason why. They think after the town kind of went to crap and people left, that people was doing satanic stuff in that church.
Probably people nowadays are.
Yeah.
Sort of back then though. By that stuff, it's like crazy.
Oh yeah.
So that's creepy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'm next. This one is a little bit long. It's a front and back and a next page one. So.
Wow. It's a 2 for 40.
This is about sort of it's about like a ghost thing, a ghost person ish, and a hotel. I was trying to combine that into like one thing, but I couldn't figure out a word.
You couldn't
like,
do
right
it there, could you, mate?
No. Okay, so this place is the Dakota Hotel or Inn or whatever in Manhattan, New York. That is where Manhattan is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't look that up. I just went on a whim.
Good job.
So, okay. This place is known for the darkness that is around it. It was built between the 1880s and 1884. It started off as an empty area. Literally, like, it was the only thing on the island. And apparently, I guess they called that area the Upper West Side Slide. Or, I guess, I don't know.
It's the West Side.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So, this was the last place of John, like, the last place of home for John Lennon. I didn't know that. And
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, his ghost apparently resides there and stuff, and he's even experienced stuff before he died.
Oh my gosh.
So, there's reports of John Lennon being there and stuff after his death in the 1980s, and then there's a man who used to live, live in the house that was John Lennon's.
Yeah.
Saw his ghost at the piano, and then John Lennon's ghost turned to the man and said, "Don't be afraid, I am still with you," and then like vanished.
That's nuts.
And then, like I said, John Lennon had his own personal experiences. One ghost that he saw all the time was the crying lady, and apparently that's the ghost of Elise Vesley. She managed the Dakota in the 1930s, the 40s, and the 50s. She believed that she had psychedelic, I think that's how you say that, powers.
Oh, yeah.
So she suffered a great loss and a great tragedy. Her son was killed, ran over by a truck outside the hotel, and like he died like right then. So she was never the same. Instead of being like that, she was already nice apparently, but like she was uncomfortably nice.
Yeah.
So like she just like it was really weird and it weirded everybody out. So she became super super nice, and she was extra protective of the children who lived there and everything else. They say that she's trying to help the young girl ghost, which we'll get to her in a second.
She's just helping the young girl ghost.
Yeah. The young girl, she was first seen by the painters of the house. We'll get to that in a minute. They say that she wears a yellow fedetta dress, and it nearly matches her blonde hair, white stockings, and black leather shoes, and they have silver buckling, so that's what she looks like. She bounces a red ball down the halls, and she is seen entering and exiting closets. So the painters, this girl came out and looked at them and said, "It's my birthday," and then disappeared. Okay, so after that happened...
That's kind of crazy right there, I tell you.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do if that happened to me. So after that, one of the painters died not long after. They fell off a scaffolding and then fell down a stairwell. And everyone blamed this ghost. So, okay, when they were doing the electricity in the house in the 1930s, the electrician saw something crazy one night in the basement. A short man with a frayed coat and a wing collar, small steeled rimmed glasses. He had a big nose, and he had a well-kept
big nose
beard.
Kate.
He had a wig too, so he would look at this electricianer for a minute, and then he would take off his wig, shove it in this guy's face, and then vanish. Like legit, just like take it, shake it in his face, and then vanish.
Go, ha ha, in your face, in your face.
And this didn't happen just once. This happened 4 times.
Oh my God. Not once, but twice, but 3 to 4 times.
And they say the guy who built the Dakota, Cabot Clark, was mad about the electrician messing with the building because he died before he got to finish his own hotel and see everything in it.
Wow. So he was madder than hell.
Literally takes off his wig and is like, ha ha ha, or shoves it in it. Yeah.
That's funny.
So,
I'd like to see, that's what kind of ghost I'd like to do. Just do shit like that.
Yeah, I know, right? And then Joe Mueller was the original.
Mueller.
Was the original.
Mueller.
Shut up.
Mueller.
They were the original designer for the hotel when it first was built. They had died in a cab right outside the hotel in 1976. This person was going to the doctor. They said, "Nothing's wrong with you." On the way back from the doctor, she died.
Wow.
In the cab outside the hotel.
That's very nice. Sounds like the doctors hear men are well sometimes.
I know, right?
Oh, it's just heartburn. Go home. Oh, it was really a heart attack. Sorry.
So basically, this ghost likes to throw items at workers in the basement.
Wow.
Like, he'll be in the basement, and like this ghost will just start throwing stuff.
What a piece of shit.
One time a shovel came off a wall and went off at the opposite side of the room. One time a large iron came off the wall and got thrown at someone's feet, and then when they went to go lift it up, it became extremely heavy and they couldn't pick it up.
Wow.
Workers are like starting to refuse going in the basement. They're like, we're not going in there. We don't want to be attacked. I don't want my tools thrown at me today. Then there's also the Phantom of the Dakota, or the Mad Slasher.
The Mad Slasher.
So this one caused so many issues in the hotel. Okay, so this ghost, never hurt anyone. Really, just mess with them a lot. But so the elevators were put in the 1930s, and so this ghost would wake up every day, or like once a week, and go slash and mess up the elevators, and they'd have them fixed, and then he'd do it again. Like, it was just an ongoing thing. Well, they said it looked like the person was using a knife, but there was giant slashes that was ran through the paired walls on the elevators. They were too high to be child's reach, but they were so deep, so you had to be like really, really strong, and they didn't know who was doing it.
That's redonkulous.
And like I said, they were replacing it every week, and then every time it got replaced, he destroyed it more. Then one day they walked into a room, and there was a huge pile of paper, and it looked like somebody was trying to start a fire.
Wow.
So at this point, no one starts thinking about a ghost. The residents become scared, and they're thinking that they have a murderer on their hands.
Not a murderer.
And they get suspicious of the other people, and they're like, okay. Well, so then this can of paint came falling off of, like, the top of this building, okay? And in the courtyard, and it landed right next to a tenant.
Yeah.
So it, like, almost hit this person. But there was no painting going on or renovating at this place at the time. So it was really weird.
Hey.
So then, like I said, that's when the murdering thought was going around. A couple residents made a secret spy club. They'd set up and they'd hide in spots around the hotel and stuff like that. Man. But the only thing they found out was that a lot of the people were having affairs. So that's it. And the ghost didn't really do anything else. But they hear hear footsteps in one apartment. This is one guy specifically right now, though. This guy heard footsteps in his apartment. His chairs would always be pulled out from him whenever he would go sit down, and his friends and everything. He gets pushed by stuff that is not there. God. And the rugs that he walks on, they'll be pulled out from underneath his feet. And nothing will be there.
That's, man, I don't know if I don't know if I could handle that. I could handle stuff moving on me, maybe a voice or something, but I couldn't handle if I seen shadow people or shit moving or pushing me or, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, then this guy was like, okay, let's play the Ouija board game with my kids. So he does it with his kids. But I guess in this version, he plays it with like a tile game instead of like it on a board. So he does it like that. And he's talking to it, and he just gets the impression that he's talking to a young girl. So in the game, they got finished with it. They put it up nice, on the shelf. A couple days later, he found 3 tiles in his suit pocket. And the letters were I, C, and U.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I see you. Oh, God. I'd be like, what?
Yeah. I would be...
yeah.
Sorry. I'd be, I'm out of here. You can have the house, everything.
Yeah, see, that's why you people don't need to mess with that crap or mess with them boxes and all that stuff, man. Messing with stuff you don't quite understand, man.
Yeah. All right, you go next, Daddy.
Alrighty, well, I have got the Trollwood Park. I've got the Trollwood Park in South Dakota, I believe. It was a performing arts school, owned it once, but now it's just a public park that kind of sits abandoned. I mean, no one really goes there, don't get a lot of activity. And people that go there at night will get the feeling of being watched. Reports of women walking around a willow tree by a large rock that said County Cemetery 2. Because back in the day, when people couldn't afford tombstones, they would take them by the cemetery, and then they'd just write, that right there, I guess, for the county cemetery, I guess.
Yeah.
So they'd do that. And then once there was a property on the place until the 1940s, and then it was torn down. and they say it is one of the most haunted places in Dakota. And they never really did shed a whole lot on
Why it is haunted?
why it was just haunted, but they shed a lot on what people feel. I mean, it was pretty much what hear stuff, see stuff, and so
Feel googly boogly on your
yeah, a
arm.
bunch of googly booglies. Because a lot of some of that land up there, got taken from the Indians. There was some battles on it. I mean, a lot of this land can tell stories, and a lot of these spirits that died, or there's people that died in harmful deaths. Their spirits are stuck here.
Yeah.
I got one more little shorty, and then that's it for me.
Alright. Well, hang on. Save that one. Let me go next. Alright.
Fine.
Right.
Always. I want to go. Hey, I was sitting here reading, and you do know it's kind of a Christmas tradition that dates back a long freaking time ago, is telling ghost stories on Christmas.
Really?
Think about it. The Christmas Carol, it's a ghost story.
True.
Because there's 3 ghosts, future, past, present.
Yeah.
3 ghosts that come see him, and then counting the 4th ghost, his best friend, that warns him.
That.
Yeah, it's a ghost story.
So on Christmas, we're going to sit around telling ghost stories all day long.
Hey, man, that's what I'm looking up. Christmas ghost stories right here.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So this is a short one, but this is called Huggin Molly's in Abbeville
Adeville.
in Alabama.
It's always Alabama.
So this is a 1950s style restaurant located in downtown Abbeville, Alabama. Since opening in 2006, they have welcomed visitors from all over because of the unique atmosphere and delicious food. So basically, the ghost stuff to this is Huggin Molly is one of Alabama's most famous ghosts. Legend is that Huggin Molly is 7 foot tall, large, and dressed in all black. You can see her ghost roaming the streets and late at night. At late night hours. If she sees you, she'll chase you down, give you a super hug, and then scream in your ear.
Oh my God! A hug and then scream in your ear.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh God! I don't know what's worse.
Having a ghost chase you to.
Yeah, hug you and then
hug you?
scream in your ear. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what I would do in that situation.
That's messed up as hell. Some of the stuff that these ghosts do.
I know, right? All right. Well, how about you do yours, Dad?
All right, I got one more little one, and I do mean it's a small one. It's about the Old Armory in Williston, North Dakota. It was built in 1915. Yeah, it was in 1985. It was added to the Historical Society's club. It was built in 1915. And it don't have a whole lot of history because it's been an armory pretty much the whole time it's been there. That's why it was built there.